This career is not for the faint of heart for a number of reasons, but today I am going to talk about sacrifice. I am in my car with my selfie stick again. Hopefully it won't fall over this time. You guys, I got a text message today from a friend of mine inviting me to see Rent, the musical, at the Pantages. I've only seen the film version. I've seen it a zillion times. I have the CD in my car. Wait, hold on. I'll play it for you. Hold on. Let me grab it for you so you know it's real. All right, go ahead. Start playing. It just lives in there. So I'm going to turn this off so I don't get a copyright violation. But I know every song. I love it. And I haven't seen it in the theater yet. I've just seen it on film a zillion times. Play the CD all the time. Like if I need a pick me up, I'll play the CD. So a friend of mine texted me and said that she was supposed to go with a mutual friend of ours, but that friend is sick. And would I like to go? And the ticket would be free for me. And I was like, yeah, like what time do you need me to go? You need me to meet you right now? That was pretty much my reaction. I had just finished an audition and I looked at my phone and that was the text that I had. So then I was driving and another text came in and it was like, oh, Nicole, you have an audition, a big audition, first thing in the morning. So I'm like, it would be really irresponsible of me to go to this musical, but I so want to go. Maybe if I just spend the next few hours working feverishly on this script, I can learn everything, I can develop a character, and then I'll be out late tonight. But if I get up early in the morning, then I can go over it again, But that's not how you do things. That's setting myself up to fail. So I had to text her back and say, I'm sorry. There were a couple of expletives, I will admit. I just got this audition and she's an actress too, so she gets it, but it was like, I really wanted to go. She texted me back, go get it, girl. Yeah. So that is an actor's life sometimes. I don't know why I expected to have a life during pilot season. Something happened a week ago when I mentioned, like traveling, and every actor knows. Every actor who's been in this business for some length of time knows that if you want to book a job, book a trip. If you want to get a huge audition, book some travel. I've had travel preempted by auditions before, or by bookings before. And on the one hand, you're like, yay, I get to work. I get to make some money. And some of these jobs, depending on what it is, it might be enough money to sustain you for the next year or two. Like if you book a really big commercial, that can pay your bills for a very long time. Or if you haven't booked anything in a while and you're like, I don't know which job is going to be like the one that's going to, turn into something else, which audition is going to introduce you to people in a light that they haven't seen you in before, or introduce you to casting directors or producers or whomever for the very first time. And that can lead to something else. So for me personally, it's not easy to turn down auditions. I don't do it often at all. Like I can count on one hand the number of auditions I've turned down ever. And I didn't take it lightly. One time I had food poisoning. Another time, just like, I just could not go. So it's that sort of thing. I don't just say, I don't feel like going to an audition today and don't go. No, it's not like that. So when I go, I want to represent myself in the best light. This just got me to thinking about conversations that I've had with fellow actors over the last week, where we all make we make a lot of sacrifices. And I think a lot of times people see the glory, say, oh my goodness, you're on TV. That's so wonderful. It looks glamorous, hair and makeup. Oh my goodness, they do your hair and your makeup, or, whatever. Wardrobe, they dress you in all these luxurious clothes. And you just get on set and you say lines. No, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of sacrifice. Last week at an audition, I was talking to an actress that I see, she's my type. Like we're called in a lot of times by type. They want, say they want a tall black woman with natural hair. Well, you'll see all of those. And we know each other because we see each other all the time. But I saw her and we just started talking about different things. And she mentioned that she wanted to have kids, but I could guess her age. If I had to guess her age, I would say she's around 40. Yeah, I don't really know, but somewhere around 40. And she wanted to have kids, but she wanted to meet certain markers in her career first. And she doesn't have them yet, and biology will not wait forever. So it's a thing. I have another friend that just got married not too long ago. She thinks she wants kids, but same thing. Like, it's a balancing act. I talked to a friend of mine last night and found out something I hadn't heard about his story before. And he mentioned that, and this is something that I heard from another friend. He was working as an actor, got married, found out that his wife really wasn't supportive of his acting career, as a lot of people aren't. They see it as as not being a real job, especially for men, like, how you gonna be the breadwinner or support the family on an acting job that you may or may not get? So he went and got a real job, and it took him out of the industry for a while. There are all sorts of sacrifices that we as actors make. And I know people from all walks of life make sacrifices. I'm just talking about this because a lot of times people see the fun part, they see the glory part, and it is a lot of fun. Like, I love the craft of it. I love to create a character. Okay. I didn't know if security was going to come and get me for taking up a spot. I'm getting ready to go into the grocery store. But a lot of times people see the fun stuff. And when they think of, oh my goodness, you're an actor. First of all, it's not a real job. Second of all, oh, it's fun. Third of all, I can do that. All right, we'll do it. Do it. Anybody can book an acting job or two, unless you are just horrible. And even then, you can book a job where we know some horrible actors and we've seen them. But to build a career that will span, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, you can't be a hack. At some point, you need to learn something. And even if you start out and you're Hollywood beautiful, which is not regular world beautiful, it's its own thing. Oh, there are only like 3 people that are it. I was talking to a friend of mine she's very pretty, but she doesn't fit into that narrow category that Hollywood defines as beautiful. So a lot of times she doesn't get called in for things that she could do, like roles that she could kill. Very talented actress, but that happens. So even if you start out your career and you are just like so gorgeous that it hurts to look at you. We've seen those people. You're like, how is your face like that? Like, can I can I touch you? That's creepy. But you start out your career like that. You ain't gonna stay like that. Everybody changes. Everybody ages. You don't know what's gonna happen to your face over the course of your life. That's when you get people who are like, nip tuck, let's do this, let's do that. There is a lot that goes into this. There's levels to this, honey. I don't think anybody really knows what they're in for when they sign on for this career, you know? Sometimes people think that you belong to them because they like your work. And I think that happens to anybody in entertainment. People like your work and they feel a connection to you, and so they feel some sort of ownership. Well, how does that doesn't make any sense. If you're not an actor and I come to your job and I admire how you run your reports or scoop ice cream or whatever, I don't then own you, you don't owe me anything but the ice cream that I paid for. So it can be weird. Somebody approached me on Twitter recently in a way that I didn't like, and I told him he was being creepy. First he told me he loved me, and then he said something about he wanted to meet me, and he said something else, and I said, look, I don't like that. I don't know if you're trying to be creepy, but it is, and don't do it. I don't like strangers to talk to me like that. And he said okay, but then he tried to follow me on Instagram, so I blocked him. But people do weird things to entertainers and people with public jobs, because I'm sure like politicians get the same, I don't know what it is. I don't even know what to call it. So there are a lot of different things that come along with being an actor. I love the craft of acting. Like I really, really love it. It's not because I just want to be out in front of people getting attention. I don't go. I can't even tell you the last time I went to a Hollywood party. It might have been last like April when my dad was visiting and we went to a rap party for a show that I worked on. And he can tell you that I was like everybody was nice and I would make small talk. And then the point came where I felt like I needed to go and say hi to certain, just like make sure they saw my face, work basically, put in the work, because it's like an office Christmas party. Hopefully you don't wild out at the office Christmas party, end up toe up drunk and dancing with a lampshade on your head because you are with people that you have to work with again. Well, it's the same thing at like a rap party or whatever. You have fun, but don't show your behind, because these people are going to be in a position to hire you or not hire you. You don't want folks saying, oh, ooh, Lord, yeah, Nicole can act, but she wild. She was doing coke at the, no, that's just not, it's unprofessional. I know people do all kind of stuff, but that ain't how I roll, and that's not how I want to be known. So there are a lot of things. Oh, another thing. One more thing, and then I'm out. Hollywood is known for being very liberal, because we're artists, we work with people from all walks of life, genders, gender identity, sexual preference, country of origin, all sorts of things. And so if you aren't open-minded, you are not going to thrive in this environment. Like, you really just have to live and let live. It doesn't mean that you want to do all of these things yourself, but you really just have to say, oh, well, that's how Mike rolls, and Mike's a good person. I don't agree with everything Mike says, but that's Mike. And if I'm going to accept Mike, if I'm going to be friends with Mike, if I'm going to have a healthy respect for Mike, then I got to let Mike live the way he lives, because I'm sure there are things about my life that people wouldn't like or agree with. I don't ask that you do it. I ask that you respect it. So we speak out against certain injustices, but sometimes there can be a fear that comes with that, where you don't want to say too much, because say you're talking about our current president, but the casting director or the producer voted for this clown. Well, if you've just bashed him on social media or in a video or whatever, they know your political leanings, and they may not hire you. A friend of mine yesterday, we were talking about the lack of speaking roles for women of color. I had no idea that only 10% of the people on TV who speak, the 10% of all speaking roles are women of color. And we're not just talking about black women, Latinas, Indian women. We're talking all of us together. Anybody who is not white has to fit into that little 10% pocket of people of color, women of color, who are allowed to speak on TV. That is a problem. Now, this is something that my friend and I discussed, and we're like, we can't not say anything. But in saying something and speaking out against this and speaking out and saying, this is not right. This is not how our country looks. And the powers that be need to do a better job of being inclusive. It could cost jobs. It could be, you know what? That's a rabble rouser. She's a trouble starter. I don't think we want to deal with her. But somebody's got to say something. It's, I don't know, tell the truth and shame the devil. And do you sacrifice your own humanity? Do you sacrifice your own right to free speech in order to get that job? Or, this is something that actors have dealt with throughout history. So there are a lot of different levels to being an actor. I suspect that anybody who has a very visible, very public job faces the same thing. I'm only speaking from the perspective of an actress. All right. I am getting ready to go into the grocery store, get myself some groceries, go home, and get in this script. I will talk to you soon. Bye. That ain't me. I just ran up the stairs with my groceries in my backpack. But one quick thing that I want to say before I unpack my groceries, eat a little something, and get in the script is, I know there are actors who watch my channel, and one thing I want to say to you is that if you are an actor, and this is still on the topic of sacrifice, if you are an actor, think of all the things that you have had to give up for this career. You know what they are. Personally, you know what they are. It's different for everybody. If you are serious about making this your career, you owe it to yourself to give it everything that you have. Otherwise, you're sacrificing things, you're like, oh, I'm a serious actor. I can't do this and that. And I have to live this way because auditions may come up or whatever. If you are making those sacrifices, then you need to make sure that you are doing everything in your power to make your dreams a reality. Okay? Because otherwise it's not worth it. You're going to turn around. You're going to be 40, 45, 50 years old. You're going to have nothing to show for yourself. You're not going to have any credits, and though it can be done, it's tougher starting out as you get older. So get your act together. Do what you say is your life's purpose, or all these things that we as artists come up with. Oh my God, this is my life. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't act. Well, then act. What you doing? If you were a street sweeper, then after you get done with your job, I ought to be able to look at the street and see it's clean, right? But there are too many people who are saying, I'm an actor, and they have nothing, not an effort, nothing to show for it. Don't be one of those people. All right? Bye. I am at a stoplight. I was in the wind, so my hair is a little crazy. So I got to say this real fast. I just left that audition, and I killed it. I got 2 more, but I wanted to tell you, I killed that audition. Yes, I missed Rent, which sucked yesterday, but I would not have been prepared to the level that I was prepared for this audition. I went in there and I slayed it. And the people in the cast of Rent, they already got jobs. I'm trying to get one. So I just wanted to let you know the aftermath. It was not for nothing. Make the sacrifice.